Hello and welcome to the Carhartt College Bassmaster Series presented by Bass Pro Shops for 2017. Well, one big milestone's been achieved. We have our national champions, and they are going to join in with the top other three finishing teams in that competition to go for something really unthinkable. Tommy Sanders here with Ronnie Moore. You get to go at least a shot at going from the college ranks to the world championships, and that is huge.
Just a few days ago, they had a 1 in 89 shot of getting here, and now they have a 1 in 8 shot, individual, head-to-head format, chance to make it to the Bassmaster Classic. Tommy, this is a big step for the rest of these anglers and their future careers in bass fishing.
Head-to-head bracketed competition. There will be some nail-biting, that is for sure. Well, the national championship, it was all about Bryan College. Jacob Fouts, Jake Lee, this college from Dayton, Tennessee, coming in and beating a strong field. 88 other qualifying teams, Ronnie, that had made it to the national championship, and they really got it done in shallow water.
Yeah, Tommy, they had a 1-2 approach, a top water early morning game, and then a flipping approach later in the day. Those two led it wire to wire and took the title, not only winning the national championship, but punching their ticket to the bracketed competition.
All right, take a look at who else punched their tickets. That would be the three teams that finished runners-up to Bryan College. Of course, that includes Bethel University, Chico State, and another team from Bethel University. We'll run on down all the teams, all the players through the course of the next few minutes here as we get ready for launch on Serpent Lake. Serpent Lake also up in that same neck of the woods as we had the national championship right there in Minnesota.
It's really clear is my main thing. I'm from East Tennessee, and there's a few lakes with clear water. We can get away from it when we want to, and you can't get away from it here. But there's some smallmouth here, and I don't mind going and playing with some brown ones every now and then. So I'm gonna get out there and try to catch me 5 big brownies. I'm just gonna throw a drop shot. That's all I know how to do to catch these northern smallmouth. And if they won't hit that, I might be in trouble.
Getting it underway on day number 1. Of course, there will be 4 matches among the 8 contenders. And Jake Lee, Bryan College, got his hands full today. He's facing up against John Garrett, who made it to the Classic last year, Ronnie.
That's right, Tommy. John Garrett made it back to the bracket for the 2nd year in a row. He's facing off against Jake Lee as we see Jake's path to his starting spot stops halfway up Serpent Lake to start his first day of competition.
This is just it's a little company out of West Virginia. It's called River Rock Custom Lures. It's just a little green pumpkin 4-inch worm, and I came out here yesterday during my practice period. I found a pretty good school of smallmouth right here, and hoping they're still here this morning and willing to bite. I drew the short straw and got old John Garrett, and he won this deal last year, and he's done a great job all year at representing college fishing, and he's a heck of a fisherman, and I'm going to have to catch him today to beat him. Yes.
Three pounds even.
Great.
Let's get a picture. Very first fish.
I can toss him, right? Okay. I finally caught myself on that one. I wasn't gonna be trigger happy. I thought it was a rock, and it, I ain't gonna lie to you, I thought that was a rock. Right up until he started shaking his head. Yes. That feels good.
Jake Lee with some smallmouth action to get his day underway. That is a positive start for this freshman from Bryan College in Dayton, Tennessee. You might see the one difference from the national championship. We're seeing smallmouth here. John Garrett is the man he's going up against, and he talked about the maybe bad luck of drawing him in this competition. John Garrett went through this bracket competition last year, paved his way to a classic slot on Lake Conroe in Houston, Texas at the Geico Bassmaster Classic.
He indeed had a good showing there for the college angler that represented the whole series at the Bassmaster Classic. As a part of his victory in the bracket last year, he got to fish all of the 2017 Bassmaster Opens He's had 2 top 12s already this season.
Junior from Bethel got the short end of it so far, coming up against the freshman, Jake Lee from Bryan College.
That's a big one. Good deal. Nice job.
John Garrett with a good largemouth there. Trying to match up with Jake Lee in that good-sized smallmouth he caught earlier on today, closing the gap just a little bit. Let's take a look at the other match featuring the Bryan College entrant Jacob Fouts, part of that national championship team. He'll be going up against Brian Paul of Bethel University. You saw just a minute ago. We do have the catch, weigh, and release format going on here because it is head-to-head competition.
Bacon. It's a giant.
$214. Oops. $213 looks like.
Okay.
Okay, got it? You agree?
Yep.
All right. Get your recorder. Good job.
Thank you.
Nice catch there for Jacob Fouts, the freshman from Bryan College. Of course, this is about as deep as we've seen him fish. We're having looked at the national championship last time, Ronnie.
This will definitely test their skill, Tommy, as they're fishing a completely different fishery than what they did at the national championship. The Bemidji chain of lakes, shallow, grassy, largemouth. Here, a lot of these guys are targeting smallmouth offshore on humps and bars. These guys fishing 20 to 23 feet of water, and all these smallmouth schools grouped up right on top of these humps, and it was easy pickings if you could find a good school of fish.
Again, we say Jacob Fouts is a freshman. He's from Charleston, Tennessee. Business marketing major, but both him and Jake Lee say, look, we have one career aspiration, and that's to be professional fishermen.
Agree.
Both of them, based on what they were able to achieve at the national championship, have got about the best resume boost a young angler could possibly get around the age of 19 or 20 years old. So impressive stuff for this team from Bryan College, both of them with a lead in their matches.
God almighty.
Just tell me what side you want to.
No, I got it.
Call out.
Jacob Fouts got everything clicking and running right on time. A great start. We're still early in the morning in this round of 8 matchups here. 4 different matches going on throughout the course of the day. And of course, that was Jacob Fouts going up against, well, this truly is head-to-head. He is just across the way from Brian Paul, Bethel University. He and his partner, John Garrett, made it into the top 4 at the end of the day in the national championship. And Brian Paul's still waiting on his first keeper of the day.
This duo both experienced in the bracket. Brian fished with John Garrett last year. They got second in the national championship, both made the bracket, got to fish Kentucky Lake. So he knows the pressure. You got to catch him every day of the head-to-head format in this bracket.
I know there's fish out on the edge of it. I think I'm just a little bit scattered right now. On top, it's real shallow. There's a bunch of grass on top. And there's a grass edge about 15, and then it drops off real fast. On this side, at least, it's a pretty steep hump. wrapped up. Come on, come out of there. Come out of there, come out of there. No. Come on, there he is. Good one. There's one.
Bethel University guys making their mark with largemouth on Serpent Lake here today. Their opponents in their respective matches, Fouts and Jake Lee, getting it done mostly with smallmouth. But a lot of time left in these matches. We've got a long way to go. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll look at the bottom of the bracket. Carter McNeil of Bethel versus Chad Schweitzer of Chico State.
The Carhartt Bassmaster College Series, presented by Bass Pro Shops, is brought to you by Carhartt. Dick's Sporting Goods. And by Bass Pro Shops.
Serpent Lake, around Crosby and Deerwood, Minnesota, about 1,000 acres. That's a site of our classic bracket matchups. The Carhartt Bassmaster College Series presented by Bass Pro Shops. Right now, we've taken our break, Ronnie, and we're coming back for the afternoon session and checking out this match between Carter McNeil of Bethel and Chad Schweitzer of Chico State in California. Chico keeping this from being an all-Tennessee bracket competition.
This morning, I went and fished shallow and didn't have the bites like I did yesterday in practice fishing shallow, so as the day progressed, I moved out a little bit and started fishing and got a few more bites, so I think I'm gonna go back out there and slow down a little bit and try to get a few more bites, fill a limit, and cull from there.
These anglers got to use a 1 hour halftime break, evaluate how they did in the first 4 hours of competition, see what they need to make up deficit-wise or how much of a lead they have. Carter McNeil slightly down in his matchup to Chad Schweitzer, knows what he needs to do to get more bites, so he's starting his second round on one of those high percentage areas.
There it is, B.A.S. B.A.S. It ain't acting like one. No, whatever it is got me hung up. It can't be no bass, it ain't jumped yet. Yeah, it is.
Carter McNeil trying to cut the deficit out there. As you said, Ronnie, he had to head to one of his high percentage places. He's got a job to do before this thing is over. Going up against Chad Schweitzer of Chico State. All these teams got to have a little practice session here after the championship was over, and well, Chad found this spot.
Man-eaters. Look at them go. Yesterday, first flip into these pads, I had a 4-pounder. Then I started shaking off 3s. But they're not in it today. I don't know if it's the weather or the time of day. I hope it's the time of day, because that would mean this bite's just starting up. But I have a feeling whatever weather we had put him out of this stuff and out deep.
$112?
Yep. Not the kind of fish that'll get you through the next round.
Chad Schweitzer keeping pace here, hanging on to that lead in his matchup with Carter McNeil of Bethel University. Let's take a look at the other Chico State competitor in this one, Tyler Firebaugh, going against a tough fisherman. Cole Floyd's pretty darn good from Bethel University.
Indeed, Tommy. Cole Floyd, one of the most experienced anglers in this bracket. He comes from a diverse fishery in Kentucky Lake. He's traveled nationally. It's going to be a tough matchup for Tyler, but Tyler knows after that 4-hour session what he needs to do in order to catch up in his matchup versus Cole Floyd.
There we go.
what I'm talking about.
It's a little better.
There you go.
Nice. There we go.
$1.7.
Agreed.
Biggest one yet. Moving on up.
Tyler Firebaugh, Chico State, probably needing more weight in order to upgrade enough to catch up with Cole Floyd, who put a big lead on him in the first half of the competition this morning. Let's get out to Cole Floyd of Bethel University right now.
And Cole, Tommy, he started out really strong in the first session. He had a good limit, led the pack out basically weight-wise. So this 4-hour session, it's a different kind of strategy. He's practicing for the next day. He feels like he probably has enough to make it to the second round with 16 pounds in the first session. But you never know in this head-to-head format. You got to catch everything you can every day. And he's obviously throwing a big fish bait looking to upgrade.
It's there's a big flat right here and there's a little knob that sticks out on that flat. And it's only about 6 feet up on top. There's a bunch of big boulders and stuff mixed in with the grass, and the grass it's kind of a bare spot in the grass, and they're all just sitting right there and feeding. There's where they are. That's a giant. Got him. A big one there.
Possible upgrade right there for Cole Floyd. Hard to tell, he's already got 15 plus and a huge lead for Tyler Firebaugh. So Cole Floyd definitely in charge and gonna take this match in his first round of competition. 4 matches today. And when we hit round number 2, of course, there will be 2 matches in the semifinal rounds. Jacob Fouts also advancing. Chad Schweitzer from Chico State is going for the round of 2 matches. Jake Lee, Cole Floyd be back with round 2 when we return. Serpent Lake in Minnesota, the Carhartt Bassmaster College Series College Classic Bracket. 8 anglers composed of the 4 teams that finished top in the national championship. We are into this round of 2 matches to determine the 2 finalists. Let's go out. Bryan College has showed well in that first round, and Jake Lee got past John Garrett. Right now he's taking on Cole Floyd.
You get out here this deep, it's mostly just rocks, but this place, it's a little bit slicker than the rest of the high spots, but it's still got some rock, but it's the only place I could seem to catch a smallmouth.
Jake Lee starting out like he ended day 1 on one of those offshore humps, looking to attack a school of smallmouth. His primary weapon was that small 4-inch finesse bait on a drop shot. He did well defeating John Garrett in the first round of competition, and here, another stiff opponent being Cole Floyd from Bethel.
Come on up here to me. Yes. Great. Yeah. Got me one of them brown ones. Come back down here and bite again. Tell your friends. Yes.
Jake Lee, the Bryan College freshman from Knoxville, Tennessee, going up against this man from Bethel University, Cole Floyd, native of Leesburg, Ohio, and like Jake Lee, his career aspiration, absolutely become a professional fisherman. And Ronnie, it looks like his approach on day 2, the same as day 1.
He definitely was excited for the low light conditions, throwing a topwater bait, hoping to get a couple good ones early in the morning and start his day like he ended day 1.
That's a big one too. Could have been a pike because it did that tail slap, but I've had big ones do that before though. should be one right in here somewhere. Up there, another cast ahead, there should be one somewhere right in there. Oh, dang, I had a big one fall on it. Big smallmouth. There we go. 2 3/4, that's that.
210. 210.
210, that's a good smallmouth and a good keeper here. Cole Floyd and his campaign to keep up with Jake Lee. Bryan College, pretty tough, both in the national championship, and it's proving to be so here as well as we look at the other side of the bracket. Bryan College's Jacob Fouts going up against Chad Schweitzer of Chico State.
Chico State's Chad Schweitzer, the first ever West Coast guy to make it to the semifinals. He did so in the first round, winning his matchup by flipping shallow docks, one of the only guys strictly fishing for largemouth in the shallow grass on Serpent Lake, and he did well enough to beat Carter Mcneil in his first round matchup.
This is day 9? I mean, you couldn't ask for a more exciting week and a half, 2 weeks, but it's brutal. Oh, he has it. What? You kidding me?
Holy mackerel.
What?
Let's get a picture of that one, Bubba.
What?
I didn't know it was on there. Jeez. Sandbagger. Oh, he's got it. What the heck was that?
Not even a 3-pounder.
213, you agree?
Yeah, 213.
All right. Let's get a picture, bud.
Golly.
He should be a 3-pounder, shouldn't he?
Jeez, that's the second. Oh, he's pooping too. Awesome. Poops in my boat.
Yeah, here we go.
Chad Schweitzer, so far so good, trying to hold his own. The only man to keep this from being an all-Tennessee semifinal round as we head back out to another Tennessee angler. Jacob Fouts has done really well. He's a national champion. He's relying on that to get him through this bracket competition.
He started day 1 in his first round matchup very fast with some good quality, but this morning, just 5 fish for 8 pounds in the boat right now. Needs to definitely make some upgrades if he wants to take over and beat Chad Schweitzer in his second round semifinal matchup against Chico State.
That's gonna be a smallmouth. That's gonna be a big smallmouth. I never got bit here in practice. Huh? Stop it. Yes.
Jacob, hold that one up real quick for the blog.
I got that. Good job.
Nice fish, man.
It's a beautiful smallmouth right there.
You probably fought that fish for a minute and a half at least.
Oh, it felt like an hour.
Good job. All right, we're zeroed out. Go ahead. Three. Nice job. Good catch.
It's a beautiful smallmouth right there.
So Jacob Fouts, up to now just holding his own in his match against Chad Schweitzer of Chico State. Well, that smallmouth we just saw him catch right there sort of opened the floodgates. lots and lots of upgrades after that. You know, him and Jake Lee may be Tennessee River guys from the state of Tennessee, but they are getting dialed in very, very quickly on these natural lakes up here in Minnesota. So Jacob Fouts taking the driver's seat in his match with Chad Schweitzer.
That's a good one right there.
3-4. 13-3. Call it a 1-5 with that one.
Thanks.
Hey, I get a fist pump too, right?
Jacob Fouts looking very, very comfortable at this point in his match right here. Come back and wrap up these two semifinal matches after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back as we are halfway through our bracketed competition to determine one angler to make it from the college ranks to the Geico Bassmaster Classic 2018. Lake Hartwell in South Carolina. Of course, this has been going on for years now, but it has a little added importance this time around because in 2017, the first really graduate of the Carhartt Bassmaster College Series actually ascended to the crown of world champion. Jordan Lee winning in Houston and Lake Conroe. Right now, he's standing by with Ronnie Moore.
Jordan, you were one of the 8 guys each year in your bracket. You got to live it. You lost your first time going and you won your second. For these 8 guys, what is going to change over the next few days of their life?
Yeah, you know, it's just a huge opportunity. You know, that's what it was for me, was, you know, a big opportunity. And I knew it was, luckily I had a few years of it too. And, you know, the first year, obviously, my brother and he ended up winning, and the next year, you know, things went my way. And that's just something to, you know, there's always going to be opportunities, and that's something, this is just a great opportunity. It's the first opportunity. You know, after college, you're going to have more opportunities no matter what you do. You know, either it's in the fishing, you know, you have the Bassmaster Opens to go through. So, you know, if you're the guy that does win, you know, take advantage of it. But if you're not, and more than likely, you know, there's only one winner. So if you're not the guy to win, you're definitely going to have a lot more opportunities in fishing.
To relate it to the business world, these are the opening interviews for these 8 anglers, a chance of a lifetime to make their future, maybe a future as bright as Jordan Lee's.
Well, you can't get much brighter than the future that Jordan Lee has in the sport of bass fishing. Just about everyone agrees on that. Back out to Chad Schweitzer going up against Jacob Fouts.
I have never fished a grassy ledge in my life. We do not have those in California. They'll be all around 14 out deep. I think I can beat that going shallow, but
1-5, you gotta.
I hit that 5-pounder shallow and I'll be.
Ah, you keep talking about this daggum 5-pounder now.
I know, he's all that's on my mind. I got to.
Well, then bring him up here and show the rest of us.
I'd like to. Jeez, that's the goal. That might be a better one. Oh, he's barely hooked. Don't do it. All right. No jumping.
Nice job, buddy. 2-8?
2-8.
All right.
2.5-pounder good keeper, and that is significant in this matchup with Jacob Fouts. Chad Schweitzer of Chico State. He's got to keep going, keep upgrading, catch up to Fouts if he can in the time remaining in the semifinal match. And there he is right there. Last hour or two, he has been in control, Jacob Fouts.
Jacob Fouts has done well with the drop shot, fishing brand new spots in the second round. He was able to look at his graph, see some spots that were similar to how he did in round 1, and duplicate that, catching good smallmouth today to take an early lead. But anything can happen, and Chad Schweitzer's trying to cull up to catch him.
Stressed out to the max at the moment.
Every catch is big in the semifinal competition. It is all the way through this one. He's the national champion right now, and Jacob Fouts will just have to put that behind him and soldier ahead in this semifinal match.
That one's gonna upgrade you. Oh, sorry. Didn't meet it that time, didn't you?
Yep.
Good job. This will be bigger than 2-2. So that's an upgrade. Good job.
Thank you.
2-2.
Jacob Fouts upgrading, moving in the right direction. It's been a while since we checked in with the other Bryan College angler, and that would be Jake Lee in his matchup with Cole Floyd.
Jake Lee started off strong this morning, catching his biggest fish of the day, a 3+ pound smallmouth to get his day rolling.
Oh, yeah. Maybe stay up. Oh, don't do that. God. Come here to me. Come here to me. Oh, don't do that. Come here to me. Come here. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Yes. There's Pops. Yes!
3-4.
3-4. Yes, sir. I can catch a smallmouth after all. Oh, how about that, boys? He stopped that guy up there and let him sit and stand on his dock. 2 more bites like that and I got a shot. And so, I mean, it's just worked out like it's supposed to so far. We're gonna make him catch them today. No, don't do that. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Yes!
$2.14.
I'll take it. I finally figured out these smallmouth. They can go a long way in a derby like this. I'm just trying to make it to tomorrow, man. But it's been a fun morning. It's a little bit slower than I was hoping for, but that's okay. I don't care how slow it is as long as I'm getting the right size. And I'll take. I believe I'm probably a 4-pounder away from winning this. The guy I'm fishing against kind of, you know, he caught the biggest bag yesterday, and I knew I was going to have to catch more than my little 10-pound limit. And to be honest with you, I tried to catch him this morning and couldn't. So I'm kind of not lucky. I'm blessed that these fish are out here biting.
Jake Lee and his shallow water skills, his frogging skills in particular, a big component of the national championship he achieved for Bryan with Jacob Fouts. And right now, Jake Lee out there working a little deeper and getting some fantastic results. He is in a strong, strong match here up against Cole Floyd, great angler from Bethel University. These guys are not too much separated at this point.
Oh gosh. Yes.
Hell, he just gonna flip it up. Nice one, son.
It's a good one there.
It's 3-6. These things are pretty consistent.
Yeah, I'll just make sure.
Yeah. 3-6. Nice fish.
Trying to get 3-7 out of her.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you.
Great effort, great result at the end of the day for Cole Floyd, but would it be enough to catch Jake Lee and overtake him in the semifinal match? As we take a look at the results, no, it would not be. Jake Lee makes it to the finals. Jacob Fouts makes it to the finals, and for the first time ever, the 2 members of a national championship team will face each other in the finals of the bracket. Carhartt Bassmaster College Series presented by Bass Pro Shops, and we are back to our classic bracket competition. Last year's winner right there, John Garrett, represented well as bass fishing powerhouse school, Bethel University, and John Garrett, a special guy. getting to achieve that milestone at such a young age, but he's a great fisherman with a great future ahead.
Well, I live in Unity, Tennessee. Got a population of about 10,000. It sounds like a lot, but everybody's real spread out through the whole county. Everybody comes here during duck season, duck hunts, and comes here to crappie fish and all that kind of stuff. Well, my granddad would take me out fishing on the weekends. You know, I couldn't cast really good at targets, that kind of stuff, when I was so young. I started fishing with him when I was 5 and 6. You know, he would try to teach me the best he could to, you know, cast to a cypress tree, fish to a cypress tree.
He pretty much lived with me every weekend. He and I got to fishing together in his button rod, and he was hooking bigger fish than his button rod could handle. So I fixed him up about 5 casting rods and set them on the back porch. And I told him, I said, well, you use this, and if you backlash one, don't worry about it. Just set it down, come up here and get another. Most of the time at night when I get home, I'd have to cut out 5 backlashes and re-spool everything up. He can cast circles around me now. You know, he's got those young fingers, and they don't have arthritis in them and all that kind of stuff.
What I'm taking for the Classic, I'm basically taking every lure I have. Well, everything from spawning fish to offshore fish, flipping fish, everything. Basically, I'm getting thrown in with the wolves, getting to fish the Classic. But I'm trying to take this as, I guess you could say, a normal tournament, not let the Classic factor get in my head and fishing against all the big names. So I'm just going to go fish this normal tournament, give it my all, and you know, just have a good time.
He's the same John Garrett, but you can't deny it's been a life-changing experience for him, being that bracket competition winner and going to the Classic. One of these two will go to the Classic, 2 of them from Bryant College.
What are you thinking up there? I'm thinking this is my shot at the Bassmaster Classic. I may not ever get as good of a shot as this again, and it's just almost overwhelming how just one day of fishing could, you know, change my life. You know, he's the best fisherman I know, and just to be able to come compete against him for a spot in the Classic, man, that's just mind-blowing.
I'm actually pretty calm, you know. We're just gonna go out here and go fishing and enjoy the moment and have fun with it. Whatever happens, happens, and you know, if I could get beat by anyone out here, I want it to be my partner and one of my very best friends. So we're just gonna go out here and enjoy the moment and have fun.
We're competitors today, and there's a lot of other people I think I'd rather be fishing against. He's a great fisherman, and whoever wins today is going to earn it.
10 seconds. 5, 4. Go ahead, idle up a little bit further, Jacob. All right, Jake, just fall in line. Go ahead, Jacob.
Good luck, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. Here we go. A Bassmaster Classic shot.
History of our college bracket competition for that slot in the Geico Bassmaster Classic. Never before have we had the 2 members of a national championship team squaring off against each other, but today it's Jacob Fouts and Jake Lee, 2 teammates against one another.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, begin.
Yes. Be big, baby, be big. Oh, yeah. Here, come here. Come here. Oh, come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, shoot. Oh, I'm trying to blow it. Yes. 3-2. Yes. Yes. First cast.
That was awesome.
Oh, you're telling me. Whew. Thank you, Jesus.
Tommy, it's the final round of the bracket competition shot at the Bassmaster Classic. That's the way you want your first cast to result in a fish. A good 3+ pound smallmouth for Jake Lee. As the storms roll through, Jacob Fouts looks to get his final day started just like Lee did.
That one's got shoulders there.
Bass.
Big smallmouth. Yes, sir.
Take one blow from a smallmouth and Jacob Fouts throws one right back at Jake Lee. A great fish to start his morning, a 3+ pound smallmouth. Definitely the right way. In this competition, every single fish is gonna matter, Tommy.
Absolutely, yeah, smallmouth battle so far for one guy to get a shot at the World Championship, the Geico Bassmaster Classic. For now, Jacob Fouts has the upper hand.
315.
Yes, sir.
315.
It's a big smallmouth right there.
That was an awesome fish catch right there.
Well, a chance to go to Lake Hartwell in South Carolina and compete literally against the best in the world for the World Championship. That's what's on the line here. If everyone's a little bit nervous, that'll be a reason why.
If I could dream about motoring out first day of the Bassmaster Classic, that'd be a dream come true for me. It's something I've dreamed about ever since I could walk. You know, I've been fishing, and to be able to have this opportunity, it means a lot to both me and him.
The Carhartt Bassmaster College Series, presented by Bass Pro Shops, is brought to you by Carhartt. Dick's Sporting Goods. And by Bass Pro Shops.
This is the final matchup, and two members of the same team, the national championship team, Bryant College and Tennessee, going against each other. Jake Lee versus this man, Jacob Fouts, who for now has the upper hand.
A great smallmouth moments ago from him. And Tommy, normally these spots, these humps on Serpent Lake, if you can catch one good smallmouth, there's definitely more with it. Jacob Fouts wants to keep his momentum rolling into his fish number 2.
Oh, God. Stop it. Yes.
There you go. Bigger than the first one?
It might be.
Find out. All right, go ahead. Three, 4 even.
Okay.
Nice job. Hold him up one more time.
Here we go.
4 even. 4 pounds. Four even. What a nasty yet beautiful day to be fishing, huh?
It's not bothering me one bit.
Two keepers in the boat and almost 8 pounds worth early on in this final match for Jacob Fouts, and the pressure is on his companion and now competitor, Jake Lee.
Oh. That's a bass. It's a good one, too. Come here to me. No, come here. Got her. Yes. I'll get rid of something.
Get a good picture of that one, too, when we're done.
Yes.
2.8.
2.8, yeah. Thank you. Ooh. I didn't even want to turn him loose. Yes.
Well, meanwhile, Jacob Fouts with that good lead so far, trying to hang on to things, but not everything going according to plan. Got a little bit of an issue out there with his boat, Ronnie.
A mechanical issue has him dead in the water at the moment, but luckily in the bracketed competition, sponsors like Phoenix, Nitro, donated boats allow these anglers to have backups just in case this happens. So a little delay in action, he's going to switch over his tackle, but he's going to get right back to work where he left off, trying to fill his limit and hopefully overtake his teammate and competitor, Jake Lee.
There you go. That one will call.
Yep.
Three, call it. 3-3.
Okay.
Let's take a picture of that one for the blog. Ready?
Yep. It's been a special couple weeks here in Minnesota at the national championship and now here at the bracket, you know, and I've definitely been blessed. Both me and my partner have definitely been blessed.
The best day that anyone in this classic bracket competition has had. What a great day to have it for Jacob Fouts. There's been no break today. These anglers don't know anything about the other's weight, so right now we'll roll out our winner.
Right there, Jacob Fouts is moving on to the Geico Bassmaster Classic.
Take a deep breath, pace around a little bit, let it sink in what has happened, a huge milestone for any young angler, but to come out of the college ranks, Ronnie Moore, and have a shot now to win the Geico Bassmaster Classic. And it's not an improbable pipe dream anymore. We learned about that with Jordan Lee coming from the Carhartt Bassmaster College Series and winning the Bassmaster Classic to start this year. So, hey, anything can happen. We know that.
I have chill bumps for this freshman, Jacob Fouts. Going to be able to launch his boat, compete against his favorite pro anglers that he's looked up to. A freshman in college, now he's going to be weighing in at the Bassmaster Classic Lake Hartwell. It's definitely going to be an awesome moment for him, the whole college series, as well as his family and friends.
All right, thanks for being with us through the whole thing, the Carhartt College Bassmaster College Series National Championships and bracketed competition. We'll see you next time.
Yes.
Jacob Fouts is moving on to the Geico Bassmaster Classic